Hi, this is Navigator, and I'm here in Tottenham at That Sound Studio, where we are about to explore the history of sound system in North London. It's going to be me speaking to Ribs executive representing for Third Eye Records. Check it out forward. Yes, this is Navigator representing for Third Eye Records. We're here to speak with one of the legendary figureheads, I would say, in the UK sound system world, a gentleman that goes by the name of Robert Ferron, aka Ribs Executive. Yeah, welcome to Third Eye Recordings. And,
Give thanks, give thanks.
Man, we're here to speak to you in detail, really, about how you originated in this. So first thing I want to ask you is how did you get the name Ribs?
My mum.
Your mum?
Yeah, the nickname. My mum gave it to me from I was a little boy, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah. So when you was it because of Robert and it was like a shortened name? Or?
I don't actually know. I just know that funny enough, she called me Ribs occasionally, and then my friends would come around and hear it.
Right.
And then they would call me Ribs.
Cotton on to it.
Yeah, cotton on to it, you know. And then it was Ribs instead of Robert. Nobody called me Robert. To this day, actually.
Wow.
Even though I'm a grown man, everybody calls me Ribs.
Because I never knew that. I just always used to wonder, how did he get that name? You know what I'm saying? So it's good to clarify that. So your mom gave you that name.
Yeah, my mom.
You got Mama Ferron. Yes, man. So, okay, so let's start at the beginning. I mean, what inspired you? How was your musical roots? How did you become aware of music?
Coming from Jamaica.
Right.
The reggae.
Right.
Born inside of me. You know, so it was just going out there, you know. And
from the 50s or from the 60s?
Yeah, well, I came to England in 62.
Right.
You know, so like I said, the reggae, I knew about the dancehall and these things, even though I was only a little boy, 8 years old. You know, I still knew about dancehall and the music, you know. So coming to England, I would say it was inside of me, you know. And, well, the journey really started now when I was about 14. You know, there used to be a club on Holloway Road called the 77 Club.
Okay, I heard of that.
Yeah. In those days, right, because we used to go there, it was like a community center in the evening for us. We used to gather there.
Early evening.
Yeah, early evening. You know, all of, you know what I mean, all of the friends them that I had and a few others, you know. We all used to come together there, you know.
Right.
And music was playing.
Right.
You know.
Always. So let's we're going a bit jumping too far forward. Jamaica. You're a young boy. What's the music that you're hearing as a child growing up in Jamaica?
Well, it was more rocksteady.
Okay.
You know, just coming out of the ska into rocksteady. Blue Beat label, Prince Buster, you know, and that was what was being played. Right. You know,
that was the popular music.
Yeah, that was the popular music.
So you had that kind of a roots into it, you know. That was that was the first taste of
it. Yeah, that's right. That's
so
right.
you're in England now.
Yes.
You're a young boy. What kind of music is playing in the UK?
Yeah, well, my father now, him used to have a blue spot gram, right? Okay. And him used to every Friday, my mother used to have to send me go call him out of the record shop because him I go buy for him tune them. Right. You know? So every Friday, them used to come in with a little pile of blue beat, you know?
7-inch.
Yeah, 7-inch blue beats, you know? And things like that. And he'll be playing his music on the weekend. When my auntie and my uncle came around, you know, they were always playing music.
What time period are we talking about here?
We're talking about 63, 64.
Wow.
You know? Yeah.
Wow.
You know?
So at that time, for those who don't know, you couldn't get a club to rent or anything like this. So it was mainly house parties, right?
Yes, it was mainly house parties, you know. Yeah, it was just house parties. There was no clubs.
No. But did you still have like a man that was known for music and he would come there and he would play. He would be the selector, so to say.
Yeah,
at
well,
that time.
you had sound systems.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. You had sound systems that used to play in these blues dances.
Right.
You know,
Okay.
but at that particular time that we're mentioning, I was too young
Right.
to go to blues parties.
Right.
You know, there were 1 and 2 early sessions that I could attend. You know, that was from 7 till 11. Because blues parties is an all-night thing. You know, go until 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. You know, so I couldn't go to those, but I went to 1 and 2 early sessions. You know, and this is where that club came in.
Okay.
You know, and
Okay, so we're coming to the end of the 60s, and you're going into the early 70s, and you're a teenager now.
yes.
So during your school years, what was going on? How was your mind working in terms of music and your relationship with music?
Yeah, well, that was just going to the odd parties and, well, my father, again, as I said, used to buy music. So I was hearing it all the time, you know, constantly, you know, buying his music, and that was my relationship with the music.
Right.
You know, just listening to what my dad used to go out and buy,
Right.
you know,
Okay.
and things like that.
Okay, so now you're 14. Yeah, because you're saying that's the first
Yes.
time. So you're 14 now. Where you living? What area you living
I'm living in Holloway Road.
in? Okay.
Yeah, Onsley Street, that is off Holloway Road.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know?
And you haven't left school yet, but obviously you want
That's
to
right.
You want to get into things.
That's right, that's right, that's
now
right.
it's
I
now
didn't have long left in school anyway before they told me that, you know.
So
Yeah, wait a time.
because you're not really focused on it.
No, I'm not really focused on that, you know.
So at 77 Club.
Yeah, the 77 Club, that was like a community centre for us.
Right.
Because in those days they didn't have community centres, right? Really. But that place was like a meeting place, you know. Why I say a community centre, because pure teenagers,
Right.
you know, used to gather there during the week.
What kind of
yeah.
music?
We used to hear the same scare. Rocksteady started to come in, you know,
Blue beat.
yeah, blue beat, you know, but it was mainly now Rocksteady. You know, with the Rocksteady era now, you know, early Alton Ellis, Delroy Wilson, and them out there,
Right.
you know. So I would say Duke Reach songs, Studio One songs, you know, was the main tune them at the time.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So is that also kind of when it morphed into Studio One and Sir Cox and Dodd label, obviously,
Yes.
you know, Dukery, Treasure Isle? Is that when it starts to morph into
Yes.
that now? Is that in your early
That's
to
right.
mid-teens?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. It morphed into the Rocksteady these times, you know, because it was mainly that now. The ska was more. My parents now would be more related to ska now.
Yeah.
You know, but my era now that I'm 14, I'm getting more into the music. It'll be Rocksteady.
Okay, right. So before we go any further, right, because we're going to really get into the really meaty part of what's going on, but I just wanted to speak about, because there's going to be a lot of junglist people watching this.
Right.
And you have a little brother, and his name's Desmond.
Yes.
Uncle 22. Even a lot of
Yes.
the people watching this won't even know who he is.
Okay.
But Uncle 22 is one of the pioneering producers in jungle, and he's your little brother.
Yes,
So
yes.
tell me a little bit about Desmond, man, how he came up and as a young guy. And
Yeah, well, Desmond now, him different, you know.
right.
Right, he always had a different streak about him, you know.
Right.
Like he would go into a room with a crowd of people, but yet he would be one away.
Yes.
You know, he'll be in a corner by himself. You know, he never gravitated to reggae any at all.
Right.
You know, he just gravitated to what he gravitated to. That's the only way I can explain
But
it.
he was hearing the
You
reggae,
know,
though.
he was hearing it.
Yeah,
Yes,
but it
he was
wasn't-
hearing it. It was
wasn't
being
his-
played to him all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
He was hearing it. He always knows it.
Of course.
He always knows it, you know, but he was more, because to this day, he doesn't speak one word of Jamaican. You know?
It
Right.
wasn't his thing.
No,
No.
it wasn't.
Yeah.
You know, and I've never heard him. He just doesn't.
That's true. Because I know him very well.
Yeah.
So So he grew up like that
That's
around
right.
you guys, but he was always up on a different tip.
Yeah, that's right.
Which then totally explains the reason why
Yeah.
he got into jungle and
Yes.
started making that
Different
pioneering
thing.
sound. Because
Yeah,
he
that's
was
right.
like him, Lenny Diaz, and these guys from down in the underground recording Forest Gate. So
Yes.
for those of you who are watching this that are junglists, yeah, this is Uncle 22's big brother. Yeah. And this man is also responsible for definitely taking my career to another level, which we'll get to later on.
Okay.
So let's speak about the first sound system. I mean, before I go any further, I just want to explain to you that this man here is a legendary cornerstone, a father figure of sound system business in the UK. So sound system is also attributed to the birth of jungle because it's reggae as well. So now we're going to delve into the depths of reggae sound systems and how a man like this came up in the business. So speak to me about the first sound, and I mean, how did you get to even be involved in a sound system? Did you have your own sound system first? Was you around a big sound system straight away?
No.
How did that go?
This club that was we used to go to, there was music being played there, but the music that was being played there, we had to take our music there. Like, you know, 2 or 3 guys would bring the music.
Right.
There was a built-in set inside there.
Okay.
You know, so we took me and 2 other guys would take our music there, you know, and we would take it in turns to play our songs. You know, I would take my daddy's records there, you know what I mean? Because me couldn't buy a record at the time. No,
you're young.
we're too young, you know?
Right, okay.
So, yeah, so that now, I was playing some tracks, you know, one afternoon or evening, and it so happens that the biggest sound owner passed through that evening.
Okay.
You know?
Biggest sound owner in North London?
In North London,
okay.
yes, in passed through. You know, so what happened was he heard me playing, you know, and he came over to me and he said, I like the way you're playing. You know, would you like to join my sound? You know, I knew who he was. You know,
and
so
his name was
Sir Fanso.
Sir Fanso.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know, Sir Fanso is like one of the original names in Tottenham area for sound systems.
Yes.
And we're talking about our era, because obviously there were sounds before.
Yes.
But we're talking about the origination of our era here.
Yes.
And this man is an elder for me, Ribs is an elder for me. So I grew up under his guidance and nurturing.
Right.
So Fanso was like the top sound at that time.
At that time,
what,
yeah.
What year are we talking about here?
About 65, 66.
I was like 2 years old. I've got no clue. Yeah, so tell me about Fanso, because I've heard over the years.
No, Fanso, I mean, he come from Jamaica as a original sound man. You know, so obviously he built a sound in England. You know, and things like that. He was getting his music from Jamaica, you know, playing at the blues parties, because he's an elder to me. You know, so he was playing at blues parties in Finsbury Park, Tottenham, you know what I mean, these areas. You know, he was the champion sound for North London. You know what I mean, at the time.
So he saw you're playing the music, he likes it.
Yes.
And he says, do you want to come and play on the sound?
Yes.
So what happens next?
You know, so I just said yes, you know. So okay, when I started to go to the dances with him, I first had to learn how to wire up the equipment.
So we're talking technical now.
Yes. You know.
So you're a selector.
Yes.
You know music.
Yes.
But you can't play this sound until
No, I can't play this sound until I know how to wire it up.
Okay.
You know. Right. So I had to learn that. You know. So I spent 2 years learning how to wire up the sound. Because when you go into a building, you have to know where to put your speaker boxes to get the right acoustics, the right sound. You have to know all of these stuff. So I had to learn that. You know, so when I learned that now, and when I finished wiring up, I used to stand up next to the record box now. And when he's selecting, right, he passed the record in to me when he's finished playing it. I used to look on the label, so I know that artist was who just sang that tune. So I got to know Alton Ellis' voice, Delroy Wilson's voice, you know, and these things, because I'm putting the record into the bag, you know. So I spent 2 years doing that.
Learning, paying
Yeah, just
attention.
learning.
Yeah.
Just learning.
Wow.
You know? So, because you have to know, you have to know these things.
How old was you then?
I was about 16, 17.
16, 17.
Yeah.
So you're watching Fanso, you're learning.
Yes.
When do you eventually get to play on the sound?
Yes, well, when I first got, what he used to do, we used to take the sound like blues dance, yeah? Wire up everything, then he used to go away. So I would be the warm-up selector.
Right.
You understand me? But what happened is, he used to hide the best music in the bottom of the box. Sometimes he took them with him. So I had to learn to select from what's left.
Right.
I used to get cursed. Because obviously people come to the dance and weren't hearing what they wanted to hear.
Because you never had to tune them.
Because I never had to tune them. But I couldn't be telling them that the guy gone with the music or whatever. I couldn't do this because he's the boss.
Right.
You understand me? Right? But that helped because I became good from playing what was left. I had to. Because they used to curse me.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Boy, the boy not playing a record. And who the boy, you know.
Because you ain't got
the boy. Fonso, when he came now, you know. Boy, Fonso, take off the boy not playing a tune. And, you know, so I had to learn how to play from, you know, what was left.
Right.
You know. So when Fonso came in now, you know what I mean, things was nice.
Right.
You know, see.
So did you ever get to play the proper selectors there?
Yes. You know.
Eventually you graduated.
Until I graduated. That's right. And he could leave me now. He could actually leave the music now. Yeah. Because then I realized that a dance has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And the tunes them that you play in that order. You have certain tunes you play in the beginning.
To warm up.
Yeah, to warm up. Certain tune when the crowd is there.
Right.
And when the people are tired and start to drift, a certain type of tune you play there too as well.
Okay.
You know? So I learned all of this, you know, and he realized that, so he used to just lead me to select.
Right.
You know?
Okay.
And things like that. But he wanted to go back to Jamaica.
Okay.
You know? This is about 68, 69.
Right.
You know, right about that time.
Okay.
You know, he decided that he's going back to Jamaica.
Okay.
You know, so...
And that's when you start to gravitate towards Fat Man?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
well,
for those who don't know, before we go any further, for those who don't know, Fat Man is also another cornerstone sound from Tottenham area. I more know about Fat Man as a more cornerstone sound system from production, clashes, records, artists. And you know, that was like the
one of the legend them that Fat Man.
But we're early days here now. We're early days, and you've made this transition over to Fat Man. So how did that happen?
No, well, Fat Man built his sound. I wasn't the first selector for it. He had another selector, you know, and he built his sound. And I was hearing about this Fat Man sound because when Fansa left, I didn't have no sound to play.
Okay.
Right. So for about a year and a half.
Yeah.
You know, I was hearing about Fat Man sound.
Okay.
Right, Fat Man used to follow Fansa sound.
Right.
And when Fansa went to Jamaica, Fat Man decided to build a sound. You know, I knew Fat Man because he used to come to Fansa.
And do what?
And DJ, you know, toast.
So Fat Man was a toaster?
Yeah, Fat Man was a toaster. Originally, Fat Man was a toaster.
I never knew that.
Yeah, back in those days.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, so I knew him. You know. And so when Fanso left, Fat Man decided to build a sound because there was a gap there.
Yes.
You know? Because the rest of the sounds wasn't up to that scratch. There was other sounds there, but they weren't up to that standard that Fanso had.
Okay.
You know, so if you followed Fanso's sound, it would be like something missing.
Okay.
You know? So anyway, Fat Man built his sound and was playing out for about a year. I'm hearing about Fat Man's sound because he's doing well.
Right.
You know? So I decided that I'm going to go and listen to this sound myself to hear, you know, what it's like.
Right.
You know, so anyway, I went to dance one night. When I reached there, it was in Finsbury Park, Ennis Road.
Okay.
Yes, when I reached there.
Another legendary. Yeah. I've heard the stories. Okay.
Yeah, man. When I reached there now, you know, he had just arrived, funny enough, right? This was about 11 o'clock, you know, which was late for a sound to arrive at a blues in those times, you know, because blues dance was from around 9, would finish about 4 o'clock.
Okay.
You know. Anyway, Fat Man came along about 11 o'clock and he was on his own. There was nobody with him. So I decided to give him a hand to, you know.
Lifting the boxes.
Yeah, lifting the boxes, you know. And whilst he's wiring up his amps and things like that, I would run the wires for him, you know.
To the speakers.
Yeah, to the speakers,
Right.
you know, and give him a hand because I know him, you know, and things like that. And he started to play and I stayed in that dance for a couple of hours. Then I went home, you know. The following week, Fat Man was playing again near where I lived, you know. So I went to the dance again, you know, and spent more time around him and the amplifiers and things like that, you know. And
Studying.
yeah, and he asked me to play a few songs, you know, while I was there, which wasn't a problem for me because I knew I would know the songs, read the label, I would know the artist and everything, you know. So I did, you know, and while I was doing it, a few of the followers, Fat Man followers, came in and were saying, yes, Fat Man, he's the guy you want to play your sound, you know, because Fat Man is more a toaster, more than a selector.
Right. Okay.
You understand me? Yeah, and they knew of me from Fansa days.
Okay.
Yes, you know, and so Fat Man said, "Oh, yeah, man. Him never get to play my song."
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
So Fat Man asked me, and I said, "Yeah, man, no problem." You know.
67, 68?
That was about 16. That was about 69, 70. You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
By
then
that time.
what? The music started to morph again after that.
Yes, it started to morph again, more moving towards the reggae.
Right.
You know.
Yes.
Moving out of rocksteady more into reggae,
Reggae music,
itself,
yeah.
yes. You know?
Examples of records, maybe?
Yeah, well, those artists, original artists like your Delroys and your Alton and so forth.
Yes, Alton Ellis.
Yeah. We had newer artists them coming because those guys were been around for a little while now. Right, from the rocksteady era.
Yeah.
You know, see, so we weren't hearing so much of their songs. We were hearing more newer artists that's coming out of Jamaica.
Right.
You know, your Johnny Clarks and, you know, a few
Dennis
others.
Brown.
Yeah, Dennis Brown. And
Sugar Minott.
yeah, Sugar Minott, yes.
Yes.
You know, and things like that, you know.
Barrington.
Yeah, and like I said, the music now, because there isn't really a lot difference between rocksteady and reggae, you know.
Okay.
It's just that different studios improved equipment-wise.
Okay.
So the sounding of the music, right, basically, you know, changed.
Right.
But it's still the same principle.
Right.
It was still played under the same heading, same principle.
Okay.
You know.
So now, so at this stage, you're honing your skills as a selector. You know how to read the dance.
Yes,
you
we
already
know that.
How to begin.
At this stage, yeah.
What to put in the middle.
That's right.
What to play at the
Yeah,
end.
yeah. We know the whole
And
thing.
you've got Fat Man as your mic man, and here we go now. Who was your
The
mic
mic man was my brother,
Okay.
right? Because all along the journey, even from the early time that when we went to this youth center,
Yeah.
my brother was there.
Okay.
Right?
And his name is?
Yeah, Roy Rankin, they called him at that time.
Right.
Richard is his real name,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Roy Rankin.
Roy
Right.
Rankin. So Roy Rankin
Yeah.
is our godfather here in Tottenham. Yeah? That's what we say. Yeah? He's
Yeah.
the general. Yeah. So
Right.
yeah, Roy Rankin.
Yeah,
so
Roy
you were
Rankin.
working with Roy all the time.
Yes,
as well.
yes, that's right.
Okay.
He wasn't part of Fansa thing because in those days you didn't need a mic man so much. It wasn't that important. You know, just like I said, a man might pass you and do a little bit of toasting,
Yeah.
like Fat Man did, but that's it. But when it came to Fat Man sound itself now, right? Roy Rankin is gravitated towards the DJing part of the sound.
Right.
You know, because I'm the selector, so he decided he was going to be the DJ.
Right.
You know, so
For
he
those who
started
don't
the
know,
DJ.
because when we say DJ, we mean MC.
Yeah.
Or how you would say MC now,
Yeah.
them times. And even in Jamaica right now, they still call
We call
the
him
artist,
DJ.
we call him DJ.
Yeah.
We call him, and we play the music, selector.
Yes.
Yeah? So So he's DJing on the mic now.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right,
he's
right.
DJing on the mic.
Okay,
You
with
know
you
it. Right.
as a selector.
Yeah, I'm a select. So
right.
with Fat Man period now is I'm the selector, Roy Rankin as the DJ.
Okay.
You know it.
So we're kind of, the reggae is going along. Are you in any? You're doing like, I don't know, early sessions.
Yeah, we're doing everything. We are the
Blues
early session.
dance.
We are the blues party.
Dance halls. Clubs.
Yeah, we are the dancer. We are the club. We are the everything.
So the popularity of Fat Man when you were on there.
Yeah.
When did it start really pop off?
That grow.
What
The media
year
from
we
the giant
talking
Fat Man sound that started grow.
Okay. From the off.
You know? Yeah, that's right. From the off, because where he was just strictly blues, house blues. You know, 1 room, 2 rooms sometimes. You know, now we're going into clubs, dance halls,
school halls, communities.
Yeah, that's right. We're playing now 7 days a week. We did this thing.
Mad.
You know, from them time there.
Mad.
You know, so the thing is gravitating, and we gravitated to dub.
Right.
You know, Fat Man music when nobody else can play.
So let's speak about dub, because for me that was kind of like when I know about all of that, what was before, because I grew up as a kid in the 60s and I saw it all, but when it really started to become my personal preference, it was dub music, which was like instrumental reggae music with not a lot of vocal. Well, you'd have your vocal and then you'd flip it over and have the instrumental, but we still
original
had a lot of dub music.
Original dub actually came from the vocal and the version, and we called that a dub because it wasn't released, or it wasn't on pre-release.
Exclusive.
It was exclusive.
Right.
It was just something that you alone had.
And that was the whole thing with sound system, right?
That's right.
The whole thing with sound system was exclusivity.
That's right. That is right.
That's what set you apart.
That is right.
So
then a sound system now would sometimes go to Jamaica to acquire exclusive music. In the meantime, he would try to link himself to a producer in Jamaica. You know, that would help getting exclusive music. You know, so these things was happening. So various sounds from different eras were doing this thing.
Right.
You know, so that's where the dub thing came in. You know, and who had the most dub, you know, and can select them properly, because you can have music. If you can't play it, it can't work.
No.
A sound system is only as good as it's selected.
Okay.
Right? If the selector not good, the sound can't good.
Okay.
Impossible.
You have to have all the elements.
That's right.
Because
quality, you have to hold the crowd. You have to be able to hold crowd.
Right.
You know, I remember as a selector, we're going back before the DJ became predominant on a sound system.
Okay.
You know, so you have to be able to select, keep people dancing, buying liquor, buying drinks,
yes.
you know,
yeah.
and these things, right? All just putting record on the turntable.
Right.
You know, so you have to know how to select.
You have to know how to play.
You have to know how to play music. That's right.
In the right order to keep the crowd.
To keep the crowd entertained.
Right.
You know.
Okay.
So when it reached, like say, the dub plates now, you still have to know how to select your dub plates.
Right.
You know, as well. So with Fat Man sound now, because Fat Man acquired a lot of dub plates, because he would now, with me playing the sound, it gave him time to go and do other things.
Right.
You know, like go and look the music, go and mix with producers, you know, go to Jamaica,
right,
and these things, you know. So he acquired a lot of dub plates.
To keep the reputation.
Yes,
and
yes.
Keep the prestige.
Yes, of the name.
Right.
Keep that going.
And you're there doing the groundwork, selecting the music.
Yes,
man.
man.
The parties.
Yes, man.
Wow. So
and that's it.
70, yeah, okay, so you're in the early 70s now. You're like, what, about 19, 20 maybe?
But call it that. About 19, 20, you know. Also, you know, sound system, because cash-wise, we had to know how to build our own boxes too, you know.
Of course.
You know,
we didn't build.
Yeah, we had to build the boxes. You know,
200 watt Celestian 18-inch speakers and good.
Well, 100 watts at the time. You know, it was the big deal. You know, but we had to know how to build the boxes. You know, because I had to acquire the skill for that.
Right.
You know, as well. I knew how to. I can build anything from a square.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, you have to learn all of
If
these
I'm
things.
honest with you, when I first came into sound system, it was always going around somebody's house and seeing a guy there in overalls and speaker boxes
Yes.
and circuit boards with
Yes.
capacitors and
That's
resistors
right.
and soldering iron. And I'm looking at these guys like these guys are flipping scientists, bro. Like they build the whole thing,
That's
preamp,
right.
everything,
To
valve
know.
amp. I
Yes.
seen all of that and I was like, wow, it's like it's not just you go to a dance and play music. You actually have the technical skill of knowing how to actually build
put this stuff together. Yes.
It's amazing when you think about it.
Yes.
It's
No, we
really
had to
amazing.
do. You know, and the more you know, is the better your sound is.
Because back then, what I found was every sound sounded different. They had their own
Yes.
tone of bass, their own.
That's
the
right.
way how their top sounded, their mid range.
That's right.
You know how heavy the sound was, the depth or the mid range of it. It was
That's
that was all part of it because
That's right. There were different builders too.
right.
You know, the guy who built the amplifier.
Yeah.
You know, and so you know that builder, all of his amps will carry a certain sound. You know,
Right.
another builder, his amps will carry a certain sound. You know.
So tell me about the first dance you can remember, right? Where you like properly bust the dance. Like you're in there, you're playing the tunes, and then you just drop this thing and you get this almighty response. Maybe because back in the day, I'll tell you this what I remember. One sec before you go any further. What I remember is that sound system was highly competitive. It wasn't billed as a clash, but when two sounds string up, it's on, right?
Yes.
Am I lying?
That's right.
So
That is right. That is right. But when two sounds string up, it wasn't a clash, as you said.
Yeah.
It was who could entertain
the crowd better.
the crowd better.
So
it wasn't a case
when was
of
his dance?
What,
When was
yeah,
his dance
that's
when
right.
you did the thing.
That
When
who
you
did the thing. It wasn't a case of locking off another sound
No.
or beating another sound. You just entertained better. You know, that was the thing at that particular time.
Right.
You know,
So which dance was the first dance you can remember properly getting the crowd on your side?
Yeah, well, there's so much dances, you know, right? I can remember on Fat Man Sound,
Yes.
we playing with a song called Lord Coos.
Okay, I know who they are.
Yeah,
Lord
they're from the
Coos.
Northwest,
Yeah.
you know, and we was Manor House, a place in a Manor House,
Yeah.
you know, and obviously Manor House is more in our area,
Yeah.
you know, so the majority of the crowd in there will belong to us anyway. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Okay.
And that night we really, really, you know,
Peppered him.
yeah, we really peppered him, you know. So, you know.
Wow. Okay, so you're on Fat Man Sound, and you know the levels are going up. You know the hype of Fat Man's name. I can remember buying records on Greensleeves label.
Yes.
With you know sound clashes against Scientist and Shaka Coxon and all of these different producers.
Yes.
That they were pitching against each other and then releasing it like it's a Sound Clash album. I used to buy those records and that.
Well, the first one, I don't mean to interfere. The first one,
Sorry to be
the first one,
yeah.
right? Before the Scientist versus this came along, right? The very first dub album that came on that genre then was a dub album called First, Second, and Third Generation of Dub.
Okay.
Right. The first generation was King Tubby's.
Okay.
The second generation was Jammies, Prince Jammies, and the third generation was Scientists.
Right.
You know, and Fat Man put that together.
Right.
And gave it to Jetstar.
Okay.
To release.
Yeah.
You know, so that was the first one, and after success of that, put it that way,
right,
came the King Jammies versus Scientists, you know, and a few others.
Yeah.
You know, but
I remember those albums very well.
Yes.
I used to listen to them. I used to go to record shops and just like, you know, wow, them days were like
well, they were
exciting.
dub albums.
It was exciting.
They were dub albums.
So were you playing clashes at that stage? Did it get to the
yes,
clash stage?
Yes, in that, but clash at that stage, right, was something that is built as a clash. What I mean is, you used to have sounds playing together.
Yeah.
Right. That wasn't clashes.
Right.
Right.
That's
But
right.
when there became an actual sound clash, it would be billed on the flyers, sound clash.
Yeah.
You know. So you used to have those, but not very often.
No.
Maybe 2 or 3 for the year.
Right.
You know.
But they were big dances.
Yeah, man, big
I can remember
dance,
being
man.
in Acton Town Hall one time.
Yes,
I think
man.
it was you, I think it was Quaker City from Birmingham and another sound. And it was running there, early session, like 7
Yeah,
to
that's
12
right,
or
7 till
something
12.
like that. We never even had the
turn
money
on.
to get back after. We had to walk, man. We was trying to bunk it on the bus and all of that. But yeah, I remember that one there. And that was like proper dub, you know, people skanking full on in there. Very Rasta-oriented music, reggae music. It gave us a sense of hope, kind of like, it had this mysterious vibe of revolution about it. And what we were going through in the UK as black mixed people from the West Indies, Windrush generation, you know, there was a lot of fight, there was a lot of racial prejudice.
We were very
this
passionate about our sound system.
Yeah, this was like the escape, right?
We was more passionate about sound. We was as passionate about sound like you see people passionate about football.
Yes, 100%.
Right? Trust me.
And it was a sense of community as well.
Yes, that is
together, right?
That is right.
Yeah,
you know, very passionate about sound system.